Sup goats, it's JOAT, and welcome back to a new live reaction and review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Noxious EP by Punishment. Punishment's back after half a year since dropping his last EP, the Combust EP, which still ranks as amongst my top 3 EPs of the year. Yeah, and in the video I did covering that EP, I also mentioned that I've been following Punishment's stuff for a long time now, and to see him just hone in on a sound, develop it, just evolve it in this way, it's really nice to see, to be honest. Yeah, his tear out, punk, noise influenced death step approach has always been so appealing to me since day one, even when he used to make minatory leaning music. And yeah, I know he despises his old stuff. I can understand why, but I still go back to tunes like Soul, Corpse Humiliator, Grave. Yeah, his music back then was just so appealing to my 14-year-old edgy ass. So he got 4 tracks on display, which he's all previewed again on his SoundCloud page. So yeah, I've heard about 3/4 of the first drop of all these songs, I want to say. And not gonna lie, I was hoping for Parasitic Inferno to be on here. I guess he deemed it to be a little too experimental, which is why he didn't want to finish it or whatever, is my guess. I'm assuming that. And also Raucous is not on the EP, but the reasoning behind that is a bit more clear. I mean, he said himself that that tune is very Poison and Venom inspired, and I can hear that sonically out of it. So yeah, it's looking like this EP is a little more brief than the Combust EP was. But yeah, without further ado, I don't have much else to say really. Let's get into the first track off the project, also the title track, Noxious, which, judging by the previews, is my favorite. Okay, his intros are getting weirder. Oh, I remember this. Here it comes, here it comes. The layering, the vocal layering in the back of the mix. And this part. I cannot wait for the second drop. Oh, that switch up. It's like almost more on the beat. I can't really explain that. Okay, that was that drop. Yeah, I love how the A section of that drop is essentially half-timed, more drawn out, and then it just springs into full ferocity. Oh, this sub-pitching. And those, like, notes. Same thing? Yeah, I don't mind this just being the exact same, honestly. Oh, there's this again. Yeah, it's just his searing sound design, full force. Some shrill elements laced into there just to add some higher register tonality, I guess. Not much to say about this one, really. The flows are top tier as well. When it comes to top 3 tracks of his from me personally this year, well, I still have 3 to get through, so I can't 100% judge it right now, but Noxious is defo up there with Sputum, which is still my favorite of his this year. But again, that might change. Yeah, that was about it for that tune. Great. Phobia. Yeah, the narration and just whatever fucking sounds in the mix. Some radio tuning. Oh. Light build up. There it is. Ugh. Oh, that panning. Ooh, the drum fill. Oh, the screeches. Ooh, how he left out the drums. I think I heard like a bit of Spectre in there, that tonality, that beep, beep, beep. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that first drop wasn't my favorite of his this year. Probably one of my least favorite. The triplet flow is tight, I guess, but it is a bit straightforward. B section is definitely more eventful. We'll see how this is. Wow. Oh. Yeah, the way he builds tension, leaving out the percussion and shit. I guess, yeah, this one's defo to the point. Yeah, I'm finding the switches of this tune to be a bit choppy as well. Like, I mean, sure, it's full force and to the point and blunt, but then it sort of chops off, like, really suddenly and abruptly, which is a little off-putting to me. Fully, like, getting into the flow of the entire song, but yeah, I guess that's what he was going for with the track, for it to just leap out at you and then, like, reserve itself straight up. Yeah, solid. Defo one of my least favorites, if not my least favorite of his this year, but I still like it. The approach was definitely interesting, straightforward, but just so in your face. Yeah. All right, let's get to track 3, Eviscerate. Oh, we got some plucks. Almost dissonant plucks. Yeah, his... Oh, the buildup is like so light. It's this one. Oh. Ah! Just how explosive that part is. It's stompy as fuck too, that BPM. Wow. That is a proper way to build tension, bro. Eviscerate my top Noxious. Oh. This flow and Phobia's flow, polar opposites. Not saying that Phobia's flow is boring or anything, but it is a bit... The flow is so tight. Of the first drop too, just too tight. And can we just take some time to appreciate? I can't even get the words out. And then that. Can we just take some time to appreciate how his drums just punch through everything in the mix? Impeccable side chaining. Yeah, this song's flow versus Phobia's flow, polar opposites. Not that Phobia's flow isn't good, but it is a bit predictable, you know? For its straightforwardness, and this just, there's a sort of swing to it, how it draws you into every single beat. Those were the tightest flows on the EP so far. I think I'm gonna have to take Eviscerate over Noxious, not gonna lie. Yeah, that shit progressed beautifully, honestly. I haven't been talking much about the intros too. I don't remember if I said it. I might just edit that shit out. But when it comes to intros, his stuff is just as murky and like bristly and lo-fi. Definitely eerie and menacing too, with the narration as well. But there's definitely more futuristic sounds being incorporated, whether those be risers, like down sweeps, just random bits of sound, which are pretty interesting actually. It gives it this, I guess, neo-futuristic touch? I don't know. And yeah, the vocal layering in the back. So I don't even know where he gets those from. To be honest, they're probably just like movie samples and stuff like that. Partially at least. But it's like a whole backing track within the song. Imagine if you were to take that out, what you'd be left with. It'd be pretty skeletal. I mean, the sound design and shit would still be tight, but that just props up the entire back of the mix, all that vocal madness going on. And that's what gives Punishment's music that punk flair too. Just those vocals. Ooh, loving them, honestly. Final track, Catacombs. I definitely remember this one. This part right here. This is groovy. Alright, some filtering just to drop the drop. I like that. Also pretty abrupt, not as abrupt as like what the drops did on Phobia, but segueing out pretty quickly, transitioning into the midsection. And yeah, the flows, tight as fuck. Reminds me of like Tormented almost, but just the execution is much better and more powerful. And the sound design as well. Better angling. Yeah, the vocal layering is really shining here, like manic, almost just going insane. And that snare placement, again, leaving out the kick. The way it just leaves you waiting for the kick to come in. Puts you on edge almost, like gives you this uneasy feeling. Everywhere at the end of time type vibes there. The aesthetic his music creates, just fuck. This is a great EP. I love this EP. Again, least favorite Phobia for reasons I mentioned. And favorite, Eviscerate. Noxious is definitely up there as well. Catacombs also. Speaking of Catacombs, like I said, it feels like a new age, a new era Tormented. Just that same type of approach honed in on and just better. Don't get me wrong, I do mess with Tormented, especially it being one of his most popular songs, like that song getting people into punishment. Its delivery still does feel a bit aimless and sort of thrown together. As for Catacombs, yeah, just overall tighter. You could say the same thing for this entire EP. This entire EP is just a package of tightness. It's so fucking compact, and it doesn't need any more, it doesn't need any less, and it just maxes out all its aspects and everything that it has going for it, which, yeah, compared to the Combust EP, I'd say they're equal. So yeah, this EP is also just all the way up there for me when it comes to EPs of the year thus far. Again, punk influenced, tear out influenced. Keep in mind, this is not tear out. A lot of MFs say that Punishment is tear out. It's more death step than tear out, but I wouldn't consider it both of those really. Because death step is death metal and dubstep, more or less, you know? And this really isn't metal influenced really. It's more or less punk influenced, like I said. Just how wild and abrasive it is. And yeah, in some ways, I guess the aesthetic is also partially swampy, looking at the cover art. How grainy the cover art is of both EPs, Combust and Noxious. And just, again, those intros, midsections, outros. And when the drops come in, just everything all in your face, keeping you locked in till the end. I think that's about it. That's all I had to say for this EP. I loved it. Yeah. This has been your boy Joe. Thank you all for watching. Drop your opinions of this EP in the comment section below. Favorite track, least favorite track. And what is your favorite Punishment tune of the year thus far? I'm still trying to choose between... Oh no, it'd still be Sputum actually. I think it'd still be Sputum, but Eviscerate is right next to it. Make sure to follow my Twitter, join my Discord server if you'd like, as well as the rest of my socials, which, by the way, I think we managed to hit just about 340 followers on Twitter, so thank you all for that. And yeah, keep in mind, this EP is only available on Bandcamp. I just played it out through Bandcamp. It's $6, so make sure to purchase it if you have some money lying around. Once again, thank you all for watching, and I will see y'all in the next vid. Peace.